Okay. So I like to start with the end in mind when it comes to this demo. So what we're looking at here is uh, a robot shop application that has had a number of erroneous calls. And this is where we land in terms of what Instana is able to provide from a remediation standpoint. So what you're able to see here is Instana's recommendation based off of uh, metrics, logs, traces that it's able to correlate, uh, pretty much giving us what it thinks is going to be the best answer to those problems, and then a script to go and execute. So that's going to be super important where we're able to connect not only identifying the issue, but then also how do we proactively solve that issue at the end of the day. All right, so what I'm going to take you through is how we got to this screen at the end. That'll just show you the flow and the feature set within the product. So if we go into applications, we're able to see all of the different applications that we're tracking within Instana. So I would say the beauty of the platform is that a lot of what we're having pulled into the platform is going to be auto-discovered and kind of auto-mapped, if you will, from a dependency standpoint. So if we step into the robot shop, we see that we have a lot going on here in terms of errors. But like I said, a lot of this is being auto-populated and is being presented in a way that gives us full visibility of what we're seeing. So, as I mentioned, erroneous call seems to be super high. So that's the main problem that we're going to try to solve here. But when we go to the dependency map, as I said, all of this is being correlated and mapped by the platform. So we're able to see very visually what's going on, how things are connected, and how we can potentially solve the issue. Another good thing is that Instana offers the ability to get very, very granular when it comes to the time frames that we're looking at. So if we look in the upper right-hand corner, we're able to see that we're able to slice kind of the data that's coming in across a number of different timelines from, the last 7 days, last 2 days, all the way down to the last minute. All right, so this is very highly granular, high fidelity data where, we're able to really get into the nitty gritty. Okay, so now that we very clearly see where some of our errors exist, now we can look to go down a step further into the infrastructure and see where these services sit within that environment. So we're going to tackle the discount service first and foremost and see what we can do there. Okay, so if we go into the infrastructure view, what we're seeing here is all of the different kind of hosts, containers, VMs that Instana has view of within its system. Now, another good feature of Instana is really, I would say, ease of deployment. So, if we're going up against competitors or you're looking at other competitors, say New Relic, App Dynamics, especially in older versions, a lot of times you'll have configurations where you have to do either one sensor or one agent per service, which can create a lot of overhead, which honestly you're trying to eliminate. So what we have is really just a one agent per host setup. So makes everything auto discoverable, very easy to set up. And, the beauty is that it's doing a lot of the heavy lifting on the back end. Okay, so just for time's sake, we've identified the host that the discount service sits on. And within here, we're able to see a lot of granular metadata that's associated with that host. So of course, very high level things around the OS, the CPU, memory, but we're also able to see, the containers. We're able to see what databases sit on that host. So a lot of data that is being pulled, like I said, automatically, and without you having to do any other extra steps. Okay, so if we step into the host, we're able to see even more data, right? So, and I think that's the real beauty of the platform is that it gives you a lot, but it also makes it a lot easier as well. So we understand that there's going to be power users that really want to understand everything and every nick and gritty, but there's going to be a lot of more business-sided users as well. Um, so it kind of gives the best of both worlds. Okay, so from here, when we look into context, right, because that's what's going to be most important, we're able to see, okay, how is not only, the application affected, but then how is that affecting the container level and the infrastructure level, right? So all of these things are going to be important when we're able to triangulate where problems are, what's affecting what, and then how to remediate. So as we see here, we're kind of greeted by a number of different lists that are separated by application, by services, and then by endpoints, right? So really organizing everything very well so we can get down to what we need to find. So here we see discount as a critical service that's not working, of course. And then we're taken to a page that gives us more detail around that particular service on this particular piece of infrastructure. And from here, we're able to see a number of other different views when it comes to flows, how that service is connected to other downstream and upstream processes. And I would say most importantly for today, we're able to see the log messages. And this is really what gives us insight into the specific events and instances that might be most correlated with this issue. So as we see here, we see a number of errors, but we also see a warning around our SQL. So as I mentioned, that's going to give us just a key insight into what we might be looking for when we step into the events and instances portion of the demo. Any questions as of right now? All right, well, we'll keep going. So we're going to step now that we've been able to identify the issue. We've been able to correlate that with the key infrastructure that's affecting that. Now we can go into our events and instances portion of our application, where we can now see, exactly what's going on and ways to remediate. Okay, so in stepping into events, this is really where we're able to see kind of the alert storm that a lot of SREs have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Now, the previous steps were super important because if we were just to step into this, as a step one, it can be really hard to separate the noise from the signal, when we're looking at a dashboard like this. So because we know that discount, at least the discount service, is our main problem, now we're able to search against that. We're able to see that we have some critical instances here around our erroneous calls. And then we're brought to a page that gives us more detail around how that call is correlated with other endpoints from a Git standpoint, our topology, and then last but not least, how we're able to potentially remediate this issue. So in this case, kind of where we first started with, we're able to see that Instana recommended that we restart my SQL database. And then we're brought to that very first page, right, where it's done the correlation, it's given us a recommendation, and now we're able to execute against the script. Okay, so I hope I was able to show you just very high level what Instana has to offer. I think for what it is you all are looking for, it can be a really good step one when it comes to just an overall AI ops posture, and really just building out a practice that I think is going to be good for you and the clients long term. So thank you for your time.